The city wakes up like any other morning. Traffic hums, coffee brews, phones buzz with notifications. 1,000 small routines unfold in perfect, forgettable harmony. Then the ground shakes. At first, people think it's construction, maybe a subway line, maybe a distant explosion, but the vibration doesn't stop. It grows heavier, slower, rhythmic, dotted, each impact spaced a second apart, like something enormous walking with purpose. Windows rattle, car alarms scream. Birds explode into the sky all at once, and then it appears. At the end of the street, between glass towers and traffic lights, something blocks out the sun. Scales the size of shields, legs thicker than pickup trucks. A head that turns slowly, deliberately, as if it understands where it is and what it's looking at. A Tyrannosaurus Rex stands in the middle of a modern city. People freeze, some raise their phones. Others run, a few don't move at all, trapped between disbelief and terror. The T-Rex lowers its head and roars. Not the movie version, not a dramatic sound effect. This is deeper, louder. It vibrates through bone and chest and instinct. It triggers something ancient inside every human who hears it. A buried understanding that they are no longer the apex predator. Within minutes, chaos erupts. Cars crash as drivers abandon them mid-road. Sirens wail uselessly. Police helicopters pull back when they realize bullets won't solve this problem. Social media floods with shaky footage, captions filled with disbelief, fear, and one repeating question: how is this possible? Because this isn't a zoo escape. This isn't a genetic experiment gone wrong. This is Earth as it should never have been. A world where dinosaurs never went extinct. For over 65 million years, humans ruled uncontested. We built cities without walls. We walked at night without fear of being hunted by something bigger, faster, and smarter than any land predator alive today. That sense of safety shaped everything: our architecture, our laws, our psychology. And now in this timeline, it's gone. Because when humans and dinosaurs exist at the same time, the planet doesn't belong to us anymore. It becomes a battlefield not of weapons, but of biology. Every street becomes potential hunting ground. Every forest becomes forbidden territory. Every power plant, every highway, every farm exists at the mercy of creatures that evolved to dominate ecosystems through sheer size and efficiency. This isn't about one dinosaur in one city. It's about a global reality where humans were never meant to win by default. A reality where evolution didn't hand us the planet. It forced us to fight for it every single day. And the most terrifying part? This world doesn't collapse immediately. It struggles, it adapts, and in doing so, it reveals just how fragile modern civilization really is when something stronger walks back onto the stage. Because once dinosaurs return, human history doesn't continue, it fractures. And what comes next is far worse than panic. In the next part, we need to understand how dinosaurs could even exist in the modern world at all, and why real science says this scenario breaks almost every biological rule we know. Scientific background. To understand why a world shared by humans and dinosaurs feels so violently wrong, we need to step away from panic and look at biology itself. Not movie science, not theme park myths. Real evolutionary rules that quietly govern what can and cannot exist on this planet. Dinosaurs weren't just big animals. They were products of a very specific Earth. 65 million years ago, the planet was warmer, wetter, and far more oxygen-rich than it is today. Dense forests covered entire continents. Gigantic plants grew faster and taller, feeding herbivores that needed enormous amounts of energy just to survive. Those herbivores in turn supported predators the size of buses. That balance is gone. Modern Earth runs on scarcity compared to the dinosaur era. Lower oxygen levels mean less efficient respiration for massive bodies. Modern plants grow slower and contain less raw energy. Even gravity, unchanged as it is, becomes a bigger problem when you scale animals past a certain size. That's why today's largest land animals, elephants, already live near the biological limit. They require massive calorie intake, specialized skeletal structures, and constant movement just to stay alive. Even then, their populations are fragile. Now imagine multiplying that challenge. A Tyrannosaurus Rex wouldn't just need meat, it would need tons of it every single week. Entire ecosystems would have to be reshaped around feeding just a handful of apex predators. And that's assuming they could even breathe efficiently enough to function. This is where the first rule breaks. Large dinosaurs surviving today would require either higher atmospheric oxygen or radically different respiratory systems. Birds, their modern descendants, hint at how this could work. Dinosaurs likely had air sac systems that allowed continuous oxygen flow through their bodies. Efficient, powerful, almost unfair, but efficiency alone isn't enough. The second rule that breaks is ecological balance. Modern ecosystems evolved without megafauna predators at dinosaur scale. Deer, cattle, wild boar. None of them reproduce fast enough to sustain constant predation by multi-ton hunters. Within years, prey populations would collapse. And when prey collapses, predators don't politely starve. They migrate into cities, into farmland, into human territory. The third rule that fails is human dominance. Humans didn't become rulers of Earth because we were strongest. We won because there was nothing left that could reliably hunt us. No land predator today can overpower organized human resistance. Dinosaurs changed that equation completely. A creature that shrugs off small arms fire. A body mass that turns vehicles into obstacles instead of weapons. A bite force capable of crushing steel beams. Technology helps, but it doesn't erase biology overnight. And then there's reproduction. If dinosaurs evolved alongside mammals instead of vanishing, they wouldn't be frozen in time. They'd change, adapt. Some species would shrink, others would become faster, smarter, more efficient hunters. Smaller dinosaur predators would thrive in urban environments the same way wolves, coyotes, and big cats once did. That's the real nightmare, not the giant ones. The medium-sized ones, fast enough to chase, smart enough to ambush, small enough to hide. Finally, there's disease. Humans and dinosaurs never shared immune systems. Entire classes of pathogens would jump species with devastating consequences. Human diseases could wipe out dinosaur populations or mutate into something far worse. Dinosaur-borne bacteria could devastate cities before anyone understood what was happening. Civilization relies on predictability. Dinosaurs introduce chaos at a biological level. This is why scientists agree on one thing. A modern Earth where dinosaurs thrive would require massive changes to atmosphere, climate, plant life, and evolutionary timelines. It's not just unlikely, it's fundamentally incompatible with reality as we know it. And yet, if even one small change happened in deep time, a slightly different asteroid angle, a marginally stronger biosphere, a survival pocket after extinction, everything could unravel. Because once dinosaurs survive, they don't just exist, they compete. In the next part, we'll pinpoint the exact moment where history splits. The tiny deviation that turns extinction into survival and transforms Earth into a shared, hostile planet. Immediate consequences. The first thing to fail isn't technology, it's confidence. Modern civilization is built on an invisible assumption that the world is fundamentally safe unless humans make it dangerous. We trust roads to stay clear, power lines to stay standing, borders to hold. Nature in our time has been something to manage, not something that actively hunts us. Dinosaurs erased that assumption overnight. In the first weeks after widespread dinosaur-human contact becomes undeniable, governments struggle to even name the crisis. It's not a war, it's not a natural disaster. It's a living, moving threat that doesn't respect borders, treaties, or response plans. Cities near forests, wetlands, and coastlines are hit first. A migrating herd of massive herbivores can flatten suburbs in hours. Fences are meaningless. Highways become traps as vehicles stall and pile up. Emergency services can't reach affected areas because the threat doesn't leave when sirens arrive. Predators follow. Smaller, faster carnivorous dinosaurs slip into urban edges. Industrial zones, rail yards, abandoned lots. They learn quickly. Streetlights attract prey. Noise causes panic. Panic creates opportunity. Law enforcement weapons prove unreliable. Standard firearms lack stopping power against thick hides and dense muscle. Even when a dinosaur is wounded, it doesn't behave like a human adversary. It charges, it bites. It destroys infrastructure simply by moving through it. Military forces step in and face a reality they weren't trained for. Missiles and airstrikes are excessive in populated areas. Tanks are powerful but slow. Drones struggle in dense terrain. Every solution risks massive civilian casualties. Every hesitation costs lives. Food supply chains collapse next. Farms are impossible to defend at scale. Crops are trampled or eaten. Livestock becomes an open invitation to predators. Transport trucks stop running through dangerous zones, and cities that once held weeks of reserves find shelves empty in days. Panic buying turns into panic migration. Highways clog as people flee cities toward places they believe are safer. Colder regions, mountains, islands. But safety is relative. Dinosaurs adapt to terrain far faster than humans expect. Power grids fail when transmission towers are knocked down by moving megafauna. Communication blackouts follow. In the darkness, fear multiplies. Governments declare emergency zones. Curfews become permanent. Entire cities are abandoned after repeated incursions. The concept of normal life fractures as people realize this is not a temporary event. Social order strains. Misinformation spreads faster than any predator. Videos of attacks go viral within minutes. Fake survival guides circulate. Cult-like groups form around the idea that dinosaurs are punishment, nature's correction, or a test of worthiness. Trust erodes, borders harden. Some nations seal themselves off, enforcing extreme measures to keep dinosaur populations out, even if that means sacrificing neighboring regions. International cooperation becomes fragile as survival becomes local. And through it all, one realization sets in. Humans are no longer the dominant force shaping daily reality. Every decision, leaving home, turning on lights, making noise, carries risk. Children grow up knowing evacuation drills for predators that can outrun vehicles. Architecture shifts toward reinforced concrete, underground transit, and limited open space. This is the immediate world humans wake up to. Not extinction, not yet, but something worse. A planet where civilization still exists, but only by constantly reacting. In the next part, we move past the initial chaos and into the decades that follow, where humanity either adapts permanently or slowly loses control of the world it once thought was safe. After the first decade, the world stops screaming, not because the danger is gone, but because humanity learns to live with it. Survivors adapt, systems harden. What once felt like an apocalyptic shock becomes a permanent condition of life. Children are born into a world where dinosaurs are not monsters from stories, but environmental facts, like earthquakes or hurricanes, except they hunt. Cities that endure do so by transforming completely. Urban centers shrink inward, shedding suburbs that can't be defended. Skyscrapers become fortresses with reinforced lower levels and limited ground access. Elevated walkways connect buildings so people rarely touch open streets. Underground infrastructure expands, not for convenience but for survival. Architecture becomes defensive by default. Entire regions are abandoned and reclassified as exclusion zones. These areas don't remain empty. They become thriving dinosaur ecosystems expanding year by year. Forests reclaim highways. Rivers shift without human control. Nature, once constrained, begins to reassert dominance. Governments restructure around containment. Massive resources are devoted to monitoring migration patterns, breeding cycles, and predator behavior. Satellites track herds the way we once tracked storms. Militaries evolve into rapid response containment forces rather than traditional armies. Some nations attempt eradication, it fails. Killing a few apex predators destabilizes ecosystems, causing prey explosions that destroy agriculture even faster. Over time, governments accept a hard truth. Dinosaurs cannot be eliminated without collapsing what remains of Earth's biosphere. So humanity compromises, genetic research accelerates. Scientists study dinosaur DNA, metabolism, and reproduction, searching for weaknesses, not to destroy them, but to control them. Birth rate suppression, habitat steering, synthetic deterrents that exploit sensory overload. Ethical lines blur. Is it acceptable to engineer extinction when survival is at stake? Entire political movements rise around this question. Some argue humans have already taken too much from the planet. Others insist coexistence is a slow suicide. Human culture shifts. Entertainment glorifies survival skills. Professions once considered niche, wildlife trackers, engineers, behavioral scientists, become elite. Childhood education includes predator recognition and escape protocols. Religion changes. Some faiths reinterpret dinosaurs as proof of divine design's indifference. Others see them as guardians of a balance humans violated. New belief systems emerge, centered around coexistence, sacrifice, or reverence for ancient life. Economics transform, global trade shrinks. Long-distance transport is dangerous and expensive. Local production becomes essential. Cities become semi-independent, trading only when routes are secured. Technology advances, but not toward comfort. It advances toward endurance, quiet vehicles. Low-light cities dot noise-dampened infrastructure. AI systems trained to predict animal movement and trigger automated lockdowns. And yet, despite all this adaptation, humanity never regains the sense of ownership it once had. We survive, we persist, but we no longer dominate. The planet becomes a shared space, and humans are no longer its unquestioned architects. Evolution didn't choose us alone and it hedged its bets. This is the long-term reality. Not extinction, not victory, but permanent tension. In the next part, we'll explore two diverging futures. One where humanity finds a fragile balance with dinosaurs, and one where a single failure pushes civilization past the point of recovery. From this point forward, the future splits. Not cleanly, not dramatically, but slowly, unevenly, shaped by choices, mistakes, and moments where humanity either restrains itself or pushes too far. Two timelines emerge, both are possible. Only one is survivable. In the best-case future, humans finally accept a hard limitation. This planet cannot be fully controlled anymore. Instead of fighting dinosaurs as enemies, we learn to treat them as forces of nature, predictable, dangerous, but manageable through respect and understanding. Science becomes the primary weapon, not firepower. AI-driven ecological modeling reaches unprecedented accuracy. Migration patterns are forecast years in advance. Cities are built only in zones proven stable over generations. Human expansion stops trying to reclaim lost land and focuses on perfecting what remains. Mega corridors are created. Vast, uninhabited routes designed to guide dinosaur movement away from population centers. Herbivores follow engineered vegetation paths. Predators follow prey, not people. Genetic intervention is used carefully, not to erase dinosaurs but to slow them. Reproductive rates are reduced. Aggression thresholds are subtly altered over generations. The animals remain wild but less explosive, less prone to catastrophic surges. Humanity survives by becoming invisible. Cities grow quieter. Night skies darken. Transportation shifts underground or into enclosed systems. Human life continues and smaller, denser, more deliberate. This world is tense but stable. People still fear dinosaurs, but they also understand them. Deaths occur, but they are rare enough to be accepted the way we once accepted plane crashes or natural disasters. Civilization doesn't thrive, it endures. In the worst-case future, fear wins. A major city falls, not from attack, but from panic. A failed containment attempt triggers a mass migration of predators. Military intervention escalates. Heavy weapons are deployed near population centers. The ecosystem fractures. Prey species collapse in some regions and explode in others. Starving predators push deeper into human territory. Each attempt to eliminate the threat creates new ones. Then comes the mistake. A genetically engineered solution designed to sterilize or weaken dinosaur populations spreads too far, mutating, crossing species boundaries, destabilizing the biosphere faster than anyone predicted. Food chains collapse globally. Pollinators vanish. Plant life fails. Climate systems destabilize without megafauna regulating vegetation and terrain. What humans feared from dinosaurs arrives anyway, an extinction, but this time it's self-inflicted. Civilization fragments, nations isolate, cities fail, knowledge becomes localized, technology regresses as global supply chains vanish. Dinosaurs don't rule this world, but neither do humans. The planet becomes hostile to complex life altogether. Both futures hinge on the same truth. Dinosaurs were never the real threat. Human reaction was our need to dominate, to erase danger instead of adapting to it, to treat nature as something that must obey us. In one timeline, we learn restraint. In the other, we repeat the mistake that nearly wiped out life once before. In the final part, we'll step back and confront the meaning of this scenario, what it says about humanity, power, and why the illusion of control may be the most dangerous idea we've ever believed. After everything, after the chaos, the collapse, and the cautious adaptations, one lesson becomes painfully clear. Humanity is not guaranteed dominion over Earth. For millions of years, we believed intelligence, innovation, and culture made us untouchable. Cities, technology, borders, all symbols of control. But the dinosaurs remind us that control is an illusion. Nature doesn't negotiate, it survives. It adapts, and sometimes it returns. In the aftermath of centuries of coexistence, humans reshape the world not as rulers, but as participants. We monitor dinosaur movements, we engineer habitats. We teach every child the rules of survival. Civilization is smaller, denser, quieter, and smarter, yet it is fragile. Every day carries risk. A wrong step, a delayed warning, a miscalculated migration path, and lives are lost. The world is beautiful in a terrifying way. Forests reclaim cities. Rivers carve new paths. Herds of herbivores move like living mountains, and predators stalk with precision that outmatches our best strategies. It's Earth unedited, raw, uncompromising, alive. Yet in that danger, humanity thrives in a new sense. We become better observers, better engineers, better thinkers. Cooperation replaces ego. Technology is not just for convenience, it is survival. Stories, songs, and science all carry the memory of what once nearly ended us. Education shifts focus from entertainment to understanding the world at its most primal level. And this is where the scenario becomes philosophical. What does it mean to exist alongside creatures older than civilization itself? To share the planet with beings that do not bend to human rules? To understand that intelligence does not guarantee supremacy, and that survival is earned every day? Perhaps it's humbling, perhaps terrifying, perhaps both. Humanity's story is rewritten, not erased. And we finally see that our power has always been relative, contingent, and fragile. But even as we adapt, one question lingers. What if dinosaurs are only the beginning? What if every long-extinct species, every unseen predator, every catastrophic possibility could return? What else might exist if evolution had played a slightly different hand? This series will continue to explore those scenarios. Next time we will ask, what if the sun disappeared tomorrow? And the consequences will be far more immediate, irreversible, and unimaginable than any predator could ever be. Before that, take a moment to reflect on the scale of this alternate Earth. Humanity survives, yes, but survival is no longer guaranteed. Every city, every decision, every breath exists in balance with forces that predate us by millions of years. If you want to continue exploring these what-if scenarios, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Share your thoughts in the comments. What would you do if a T-Rex walked past your front door today? Would you hide, fight, or run? Stay tuned, because the next story will push the boundaries of possibility even further. And you won't believe what happens when our star, the sun itself, disappears in an instant. Humanity learned one lesson from coexisting with dinosaurs. Survival is not about strength. It's about adaptation, foresight, and respect for the world you inhabit. End of series, Dinosaurs Live Today. Next episode teaser. The sun disappears and the planet faces the ultimate test of physics, survival, and human ingenuity.